Hello, this is Juniper, and today I will be teaching a class on study skills. Yay! Okay, so the first thing is routines. It can seem kind of dumb and simple to be like, oh yeah, doing the same thing every day helps you be more productive at doing it every day, but it is true. So some things that can really help towards like having a good routine is like waking up early, having something you do like every morning. So here there's like a cute little clip thing that has some examples, like making a cup of your favorite coffee or like listening to music. So your routine can be a mix of like the things that you have to do every morning and things that help you feel better. So like my morning routine is I wake up and I go do all the things that I need to do. And then I like do my little journal for the morning, and that makes me feel better. And routines don't only have to mean you wake up and do the same thing every day, but this can also be applied to a lot of other places in your life, long or short routines. So like every day I get to school and I unpack my bag and I do the same set of steps every day, and that helps me always be doing the same thing, know what I'm doing, know what I have planned for myself. And once you find a routine that works for you, it can really help you maximize your productivity during the day. Another thing that's super important is organization. You probably all have gotten lectures from all of your professors so far this semester about organizing your work and having folders and submitting it all on time. And making sure that you're actually organized will make a huge difference in how you do. So like things like knowing how to navigate Blackboard, which I'm hoping, because you're all in an online class, are experts at by now. And having one place you organize all of your assignments can be super helpful as well. So like for me, I use Google Docs, and then I have one folder which has all of my classes in it, and then within each folder I have all of my work, and it's all titled the same way. That way I can always find an assignment easily, and it's not just a ton of files lost on my laptop. And using a planner can also be super helpful. So here I added a little, it's like the planner that I have on my laptop, which you all also have. And you access it by going into your Outlook email, and then it will show a little calendar on the left side, really tiny. When you click on that, it will open up this screen. So it will give you your monthly layout with all the stuff that you have going on. On the right side, it'll show all of the things that you like actually have happening soon. So you can see like my meetings that are actually on there. And then you can click where it says new event in the top left, and you can add things in there. So calendars don't just have to mean doctor's appointments. They can also mean putting in the due dates, which you have access to on your syllabus. So for a lot of people who are like, oops, I submit things late often, having a calendar where you put in the due dates can be really, really helpful. And using reminder apps as well that will push notifications to you, so it's not like even if you do miss your calendar, you're still getting the reminders. So like there was a point in my life where I put sticky notes on my door every single day with the things I had to do, because I just kept forgetting. So if that's like your planner app on your phone, your reminder app, Outlook, whatever you need to do to make sure you are getting all your stuff done is important. And here this shows like my personal planner that I use. So this is how I organize my entire life. So I have my little morning routines and all my little things that I have to do every day on here. And then I put my goals in there. So like you guys are gonna make a SMART goal with me this month. I also make SMART goals, and they're really helpful. And then I just do like my affirmations and gratitude. That's part of my morning routine that helps me feel good every day. And then here I track my homework. So that's part of my organization that makes me feel better about myself, is giving myself a little reward every day for doing the things that I need to be doing. And then I track my sleep and my screen time, which are two of my SMART goals for the semester. And then I track my job with all of you guys. So it has like my hours and the days of our meetings that I don't forget them. And then here's just like one of my weeks. So the point of showing you this is kind of that a planner doesn't have to be the same planner you buy at the store that you see, or the same one that was given to you in first grade and shoved down your throat. Being organized can look like however you need it to look. Okay, and then prioritizing and planning. This skill is super important when you are crunching or when you just need to be making sure you're getting your stuff done. So planning goes a little bit in tune with like your planners and all of that stuff, but being able to actually choose what you need to do first is super important. So being able to think like, what is due right now? What's due first? How all that stuff is happening, and being able to make a list based on what you need to do first. That way you can do the most important things at the beginning. Yay. And setting aside time for planning on the first day of whatever your cycle is. So like for me, it's Mondays. Every Monday, I go through everything I have to do for the week. I go through all my grades. I go through everything. I write it down. And I've talked to a lot of you guys, and you said that was also helpful for you, or you think that would be helpful. So try it, yay! And time blocking in different ways of like organizing, getting your work done while you're working can be super helpful. So here's one method that's like the little tomato that's attached on the screen. So it shows like your work break increments. And by having something like that, that's like something you always do, it can kind of help you maximize your efficiency and your productivity. And there are studies on these things. They do really actually work. They're linked in Blackboard with this week if you do want to look into them more. But they're really interesting. And finding ways to get your work done by blocking your time can definitely be helpful. And then setting deadlines within your tasks that you have to do can also be really helpful. So I've met with a handful of students so far, and we're making SMART goals. And your goal will be something that's probably something you're tackled during the semester or the school year. And most of those things are not a one-step process. So by breaking it down and setting deadlines for each little part can really help. So like you guys all have 5 big assignments that are due in this class. And by breaking up those assignments into deadlines, make sure that you're getting it done on time, you're not cramming last minute, and that your work is actually done really well. Because I know that sometimes I cram work very last minute, and I'm like, damn, I could have done a great job at that, but I did it last minute. And yeah, another good thing that I learned was the 2-minute rule. So when you're looking through and doing things, if you have something that you can do in 2 minutes, just do it then. So if that's like a teacher sent you an email, just do it. If you just got a grade, check it now. Don't put it off till later. Yeah, that can kind of help minimize how like stressful and scary your list looks when you have a ton of stuff happening at once. And then the environment that you work in can also be super impactful to your productivity. So for me, that means not being at my house. There's too many distractions. So like the school is a great place to go and work. I like to go to like coffee shops and libraries, and finding places that work for you. So like sometimes I just sit outside and do my homework at a picnic bench. Whatever you need to do to help you is important. So try different places. If something isn't working for you, move, try something else. Even if that means like doing an hour of homework and moving like 3 times while that happens, because it's just such a distracting environment that you can't get anything done. Because even if things seem like stupid or a waste of time, if it is upping your productivity in the end, then it's not stupid. And also the people that you study with and do your homework with can be super impactful on how you do in school. So like surrounding yourself with people who want to study with you, make study groups in your classes, make friends, ask for help, connect with other people. And it can definitely help to have someone that like helps keep you accountable for everything that you're doing in your life. So having like an academic accountability partner is something I 100% recommend. And then reducing your distractions. This one I think is the biggest one for most people, me included. My SMART goal for this month, as I showed all of you guys, is being on my phone less. Because why do homework when you could doom scroll on the internet for 10 hours straight? Just saying. But we do not want that. So there's a lot of great things we can do to reduce that, like analyzing the time you spend in your life by using a pie chart. So you can see this one here. It's very funny because they love dogs. But in reality, when you actually like look at the breakdown of how you spend your life, and then you're like, dang, I spent 14 hours today sleeping and another 3.5 hours on my phone. And then it's kind of a good wake-up call. It was for me. I actually did this as an assignment last fall when I took this class. And it was definitely one of those things that, made me feel more aware of how I waste my time. And scheduling time that's like away from your phone can be super helpful. So I know it's hard for a lot of people who have kids or have jobs or have other responsibilities where they always need to have their phone. But it can be good to try and find ways to get around that. So like there's a lot of apps that I've tried and true, that I love, that just kind of like block you out of your phone. So like here I put a few different ones, but also like anything on the internet of that sort. The forest app one I really like because it guilt trips you into not killing your trees by using social media. But there's a lot of different ones like that. I used one called Opal where it like hard blocks your phone and you cannot get into it no matter what, unless it's like an emergency. And then you can use the emergency contact button. And that one was definitely nice because then I would be like, well, I have to do homework now because I can't stare at my useless phone. But different things like that, and like setting time where you make sure you're actually working, which can be really hard. And I know that is like the biggest thing to get over for a lot of people, and it definitely is for me most of the time. But you know, try things, find something that works for you. It is possible. And then motivation and self-discipline, which ties in with exactly what I was talking about before, which is like making sure you get your stuff done because you're the only person responsible for you. And you've probably been given that lecture like 20 times about how this is college now and teachers won't chase you down for your work and you have to manage your own time, and that's really scary. And it was scary for me to hear too, because I don't think I'm a very responsible person all the time. So finding ways that you can like make yourself motivated even if you don't feel motivated, and ways that you can kind of be on yourself even when it's hard to be. So like rewards can be a really great thing to do for like small tasks or big tasks. So like you guys all saw in my planner how I have my little homework tracker, and then when I do a certain amount of hours of homework, I get to do something I enjoy doing. And I've seen a lot of success with different people in my life about this, especially people who have like ADHD and stuff. I have a large family with lots of ADHD in it. And this is kind of my compiled list plus everything from the internet that I learned. But yeah, so like rewards can be really great. And self-discipline, which can be hard to find, especially when you're not motivated and you're just feeling down in the dumps. But I know you guys will talk about like your locus of control later, which is kind of like how you frame your thinking, which is kind of a thing that like if you're struggling to do basic tasks in your life, maybe that's not the thing to tackle right now. But if you feel like you kind of got more of your stuff like school-wise under control, that's something that's like super great to like think about and be like, did I get a bad grade on this test because my teacher is a bad person and mean to me and wants to target me personally? Or did I just not study enough? And so like that switch in your mindset can definitely just like change a lot about how you think and feel, especially with like how you feel about school and stuff. And then again, like an accountability partner. I already spoke on that, but it's a great idea. And like the visual progress tracker, which is what my little journal was, but it could look like anything. But that's what I like to do. And then setting small achievable goals, which can mean like breaking down parts of things into smaller things. And even outside of school, like when I get home, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to clean my whole room. But cleaning my room means making my bed and vacuuming my floors and taking care of all of my pets and washing all of my laundry and then folding all of my laundry. And that is like completely not even something I can think of doing. But by like breaking things into smaller tasks and by having like a friend that is texting me every 10 minutes to check in with me, I definitely feel better to be able to, you know, get my stuff done. And changing your mindset and, you know, committing to making yourself the best student you can be, even if you don't have a ton of time. You know, spending an hour a week working on finding things that works for you is going to be much more productive than the 5 hours you spend stressing about getting your homework done. 'Cause I don't know about you guys, but procrastination is something very near and dear to my heart that I can never escape. But I believe in us. And this just goes on, same with the last thing, just changing your mindset, you know, figuring out what works for you. It doesn't have to be the one thing that your teacher keeps telling you or the one thing your mom tells you every single day you have to try because it'll work. That was kind of my goal with this, is to give you a whole list of things, and hopefully something will hit home to you and you can be like, oh, that makes sense. Yay! But, you know, going to class and, like, doing your homework, it seems obvious, but, like, those things will make such a difference. And it's also in your grade, because a lot of teachers grade on those things pretty heavily. And just trying to give yourself, like, why do I do this every day? Like, sometimes it can feel hard to wake up and do the same homework over and over again. That's really stressful. Or the same everything, even outside of school. But, you know, remembering the things that make you work harder, like your future and your family and the people you love and your friends and, you know, all those things. And getting good sleep is so important. I know energy drinks are great, but sleeping is even better. And building, like, associations between things. So, like, when I go to school, I do homework. Not like when I go to school, I sit on my phone. Or, like, when I get home from work, I do homework. And not like when I get home from work, I go to sleep and cry about all the things I'm gonna have to do tomorrow. And in note-taking, there are a lot of different strategies that can be helpful for, you know, getting all of that stuff done. So there's, like, summary pages, the 2-3-3-2 and the 2-5-1 technique, which is, like, where when you have a lined piece of paper, you, like, draw lines down it, and then you have different things you put in each category. So, like, notes from the reading, notes from the lecture, questions I have. And those are all in the Blackboard more. You can also just Google them. They're very commonly known things. But, like, making a system for the way you take your notes. So, like, all of my notes are very organized in the same way every chapter. And, like, if it's a vocab word, I star it. Or, like, if it's a new section, I put a triangle next to it. Things like that, which can kind of help everything be more cohesive. And writing down examples can be super helpful, because sometimes I'm like, I don't really understand this concept. But by having an example, it can kind of help me get a little closer. Same with, like, rewriting your notes. I know a lot of people don't have time for that, but if you do, especially if you're, like, having a lot of tests to study for, that can be very helpful. And making sure you understand your content instead of just writing it down and moving on. I know I'm guilty of doing that quite often. But you need to actually know what you're learning most of the time, and you can't get very far when you don't understand anything. And then when you're reviewing your work, there are a lot of different things you can do. So, like, teaching it to someone else is one of my favorite things to do. It can help me, like, connect ideas to real world things, especially in, like, my history class. That is my favorite thing to do. It's just, like, vomit my knowledge onto someone else. And then when they ask me questions, or when I realize I don't know how to explain something, then I'm like, there's a gap in my understanding, which then I know I can go back and review it. Flashcards are also great. So, like, physical note cards or Quizlet, or my personal favorite, Study Kit, which is the little fox guy on there. That's from my personal actual account that I use. It's kind of like Quizlet. It has more features for less money. It's really great, and it kind of incorporates that little reward thing for, like, when you review your decks, you get points. Then you can use your points to buy outfits for your fox, which is super exciting, and you can share them with friends and collaborate on them, all that good stuff. And spacing out your revisions. Don't do it all last minute. Don't cram it. You know, take time, whatever, and go to the tutoring center. There's always someone there, and everyone wants to help you. And sometimes it can seem really hard and scary, but they also do offer it online. So, like, I know most of you guys are fully online students, so take advantage of it, because it is here and it is completely free, which is awesome. And most importantly, be gentle with yourself. College is really hard, and being a person is really hard, and you do not need to be doing, like, 100% all the time. And I know it can seem really scary when you, like, take one step back and, like, it feels like you're gonna fall off the edge, but there's a lot of people at our school who are here for you and want to support you. And you can always email me, Dr. Brooke. We have so many resources on our campus, so please, please, if you ever need help, reach out. And here are my sources. And that is my lesson for today. You will have a discussion this week where you'll choose 3 of the things I talked about in this video, or from the, like, the websites I put. So you'll choose 3 things that you want to try and choose things from different topics or categories, and then you will write in the discussion what 3 things you're choosing, and then the week after that, which will be week 7, which will be next week, you're gonna have to write about the 3 things you tried. So make sure you actually do it, and please actually try these things, because it can be really hard to figure this stuff out, but it is possible. And take advantage of this class and take advantage of everything the school has to offer you. See you soon, guys. Thank you.